Hi, my name is Graffin. I'm a mechanical engineer by profession. I've been riding for approximately 18 years now, started by a big biking journey with a CBR 250R, followed by a Triumph Street Triple 675, a Ninja 1000R, and finally my dream machine, the BMW S1000RR. I've done quite a few miles with all of my older bikes. My CBR in general did like 70,000 kilometers. My Triumph was amazingly good at touring, so I did like 30,000 on it, and my Ninja, which is the last motorcycle that I owned before this, had clocked about 30,000 kilometers before I sold it. I've owned this motorcycle for like 9 months now, and I've done close to 6,500 kilometers, which isn't much by my previous standards, but the journey has been so good. I'm going to double it by the time it's 2 years old, and that's my goal for now. I'm here to share my ownership experience, and I would like to thank Bikenbiker for not only providing all the accessories on this motorcycle, but also giving me the platform to share my experience. People ask me what's so different between my last liter class motorcycle and this one. The Ninja 1000R was an out-and-out sport cruiser, whereas this motorcycle is a super bike. Now, people who buy super bikes, they are often ridiculed for buying one because people say, hey, we're going to ride it. How much are you going to be able to enjoy it? Where is a track close by? To them, I say, use it every day. Use it like your daily. These motorcycles are meant to be ridden, and ridden they are. The heating, under control, no issues. The rideability is superior. The tractability, incredible. And the suspension in its softest setting is going to be a wonder to ride on a daily basis. It's not the cloudy feeling motorcycles that you get to see on a day-to-day basis, but if you are ready to do the hard work in getting yourself fit and riding it the way it's supposed to, this is an incredible bike to have on a day-to-day basis. I've been touring it and have taken it for at least 5 long rides, the longest of which was about 750 kilometers per day when I was riding from here to a city in Maharashtra. To talk about the rideability and comfort of this motorcycle, I've taken it to Kolhapur a couple of months ago. I expected it to be a nightmarish journey where I'll end up with body pains and aches and a lot of oohs and ahs considering the road conditions. But on the good stretches of road, it was brilliant, and on the bad stretches of roads, it was good. I would call it great even, because I got the suspension dialed in. This is a standard version, doesn't come with the automatic suspension, so I had to get it manually set up by a good reputed garage based out of Bangalore. So if you get the suspension dialed in for your weight and your riding style, this is an incredible motorcycle to be with, to tour, as well as use it on the track. To speak about the performance and handling, I think enough of it has been said by experts all around the world, but for me to own a S1000RR and to take it around a hilly road and on a straight track and on a bad road, I would say it's an all-round good performer. On the hilly roads, you can just flick it in, it would turn in properly, you can put your knee down, straighten the bike, and do the transition so well that it doesn't feel like a 1000cc motorcycle. It feels more or less like a 600cc from the early 2000s, which would handle real well and also came with the inline 4 engine configuration. Now, on a day-to-day basis, on our city rides, where you don't need to do enough of flicking and switching, it is still really good to be with. Maneuverability through tight gaps, just low speed turning, as well as turning through tight spaces, it's always good. Now, the one thing one has to be cognizant about these motorcycles is they come with a steering damper. So if you are in a parking, or if you haven't turned on the motorcycle and are moving, and if the motorcycle is not moving at its own power, you'll feel that the handle is a little stiff because the damper is providing its damping. But once you get used to it, I think you'll be fine with this motorcycle. Now, to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the fuel economy. A 1000cc motorcycle shouldn't have to boast its fuel economy, but this motorcycle, if ridden within the 120 to 140 kilometer range on the highway, can return anywhere between 17 to 19 kilometers per hour from my experience. And within the city, it hasn't dropped below 15 to 16 kilometers per hour. All of this you have to keep in mind is if you keep the throttle in a sane position and not ride like your trousers are on fire. People have often asked me what makes this bike very different from its predecessor, the one with, you know, the asymmetric headlights. Now, compared to that, the engine is the biggest differentiating factor. This has something called as a shift cam or a VVT, which makes the low end so much more better. It's more tractable in the city and much more usable as an overall machine compared to the motorcycle that was sold up until the 2018-2019 time frame. So I would say this motorcycle is the best one to have if you plan to ride it within the city as well as the highways and the track. Now, as to who should upgrade to this motorcycle, I would say anybody who's used any kind of inline 4 650cc's or a 700cc or a 750cc. Those are the riders who could look at this motorcycle as a potential upgrade, because the power is more or less seamless and straightforward and the inline characteristics is all there, but one has to be cognizant of the fact that it's got 207 horsepower and that's wheel horsepower, not crank horsepower, so it's got a lot of power on tap. And riders who have liter nakeds who want much more oomph, those are the riders who would be at at comfort with this motorcycle, where you get all the low-end torque as well as the high-end performance that they've been missing, as well as previous BMW riders or inline for Japanese motorcycle riders who are looking for the right balance of electronics and performance and a lightweight chassis that can take corners and be flicked. Now, a motorcycle like this requires a lot of accessories, because you don't want to have a bone stock motorcycle that anybody would look and say, hey, why does it look so normal? So I have a bunch of carbon fiber parts from BMW itself, and most of my functional accessories like a swing arm spool, the frame sliders and all the upgraded windshield and a tail tidy, all of them are from Bikenbiker. Now, the advantage of going aftermarket versus OEM is that you have a bunch of options. You have different variety of parts and combinations to choose from. If you want a tinted visor, you can get one. If you want a clear visor, you can get one. If you want a light smoke, you can get one. All of these are not available with OEM, so that's why I would definitely recommend that you look on the aftermarket segment to get something that best fits your motorcycle. And also better engineered parts which may be superior to your OEM parts provided by the company. So those are, in a nutshell, the good accessories you need to have. Apart from that, I also have a cord lock phone holder, the best in the market, provided by Bikenbiker. Does not damage your optical image stabilizer and does a lot of things right which the regular phone holders don't. Now, with a motorcycle like this, people often ask, what's the service cost like? Now, I've done 6,500 kilometers, so I've only done the first service so far, which is at 1,000 kilometers, which is the normal run-in period. During the run-in period, the engine is locked at 8,000 RPM, so you can't go beyond 8,000 RPM in any gear. But once you hit the 1,000 kilometer mark, you take it to the showroom. I've taken it to Tusker BMW. Now, they've done a splendid job on doing the first service. They've replaced the oils, they reset the service meter, and they unlocked the engine for me to tap into the 14,500 RPM or 14,700 RPM red line that was locked until then. Now, the first service is going to set you back 10,000 rupees if you opt for the wash. If you don't and take it yourself, it's like a 9,000 rupee dent in your pocket. But I would definitely recommend going to an authorized service center because it's your first service, and beyond that, when the second service, which is at 10,000 kilometers, you can choose to either go to the OEM or go to a garage that you trust and has got a reputation of doing good service on motorcycles like these. Now, the service parts and cost is decent for a BMW brand, but if you need quality aftermarket parts like a K&N filter or any other non-OEM but performance filters, Bikenbiker does have a lot of options to choose from, and my next service I'm planning to go aftermarket and get some good performance parts for this motorcycle. Now, that in a nutshell is my ownership review of my motorcycle Freya, my S1000RR. Now, the next step for this motorcycle is taking touring to the next level. I have a plan with my friends to take this motorcycle to Sikkim and see how it goes and how the overall super sport touring experience is going to be. I would like to thank Bikenbiker for helping me share this experience and letting the world know that these kind of motorcycles aren't the dragons or the monsters that they're meant to be, or they are made it out to be. And if with the right amount of learning, the right amount of fitness and learning to ride it every day, you can enjoy and extract the best of motorcycles like these. Thank you.